Welcome to a Monday edition of Autoweek TV. Okay, here's an anniversary worth noting. On this day in 1885, Gottlieb Daimler patented the Reitwagen, considered the first internal combustion motorcycle. It does not look all that comfortable. Motorcycles have come a long way from this. Now, here's today's news. French car maker Peugeot has unveiled a luxury sedan concept it's bringing to the Frankfurt Motor Show in a couple of weeks. The HX1 seats 6, has scissor wing doors, and is said to preview Peugeot's styling themes of the future. Power comes from a small turbo diesel driving the front wheels and an electric motor driving the rear wheels. Peugeot says the HX1 shows its intent to take on the best luxury sedans from Germany. And Saab is not looking too good these days. In fact, the company is prepared to enter the Swedish equivalent of bankruptcy to keep its creditors at bay. Meanwhile, a company source tells Automotive News that Saab is optimistic a deal to raise more money could happen this week. That would let Saab pay its workers and suppliers and get the assembly lines restarted. But Saab dealers say buyers and new cars are few and far in between. Bentley chief Wolfgang Durheimer has confirmed that the luxury brand is looking to add a 4-seat sports car and a crossover to its lineup. In an interview during the Pebble Beach Concours, Durheimer said the crossover would borrow from the platforms used for the Audi Q7 and Porsche Cayenne. A V12 is likely, but may not be the only engine offered. Durheimer said the crossover should arrive in 2014. He had less to say about the sports car, except that it would be contemporary, fast, and futuristic. Guess we'll just have to wait and see. Finally for today, let's take a look at the redesigned 2012 Mercedes-Benz M-Class SUV. Here's Bob Gritzinger.
Mercedes-Benz brought us to the wilds of Montana to test its new suburban utility vehicle. Let's take a ride in the 2012 M-Class.
Mercedes claims it invented the crossover utility segment 14 years ago with the original M-Class. And while we're sure other automakers might argue, it's clear Mercedes intends to regain leadership in this segment. Right off the bat, we like the way Mercedes designers have blended the headlights and taillights into a far more crisp exterior. We also like that they've retained that distinctive angled C-pillar from the previous generations. The interior is luxurious, comfortable, and functional, and attention to detail is evident. We especially appreciate that the cruise control stalk now sits at 8 o'clock on the steering column, so that drivers no longer confuse it with the turn signal toggle. Under the sheet metal, power is up along with fuel economy in both the gasoline-powered 4MATIC model and the BlueTech turbo diesel. Both engines are up to the task of propelling the vehicle from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 7.3 seconds, but response at higher speeds does suffer in the diesel model. Pricing stays the same for 2012, and the diesel adds just $1,500 to that base price, so it does come down to personal preference which model you choose. Though a gravel road was the closest we came to off-roading, we did get a good feel for the Benz's on-road manners and the differences between the standard suspension and the optional dual-mode active chassis setup. If your driving style leans towards sporty, you'll want to upgrade to that optional suspension. The sports setting on that chassis does a fantastic job of keeping the vehicle flat through the corners without diminishing the car's supple ride. As the latest and greatest of the suburban utility vehicles on the market, the M-Class is definitely worth a look. The German automaker's attention to fixing the details tells us that in this third-generation model, Mercedes' mid-size crossover has certainly come of age.
Thanks, Bob. Keep up with all the car and racing news at Autoweek.com and AutoweekRacing.com. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, enjoy the drive.
Thanks for watching today's edition of Autoweek TV. Be sure to catch all the latest car enthusiast news on Autoweek.com, in Autoweek magazine, and in Autoweek's iPad edition.